I don't want to use the word raid, but sting operations, based on intelligence that we have gathered, we realize that there are a lot of speculators out there. There are a lot of funds that are illegitimately traced to them. And then, of course, we have to do what we have to do based on the informed and credible intelligence that we have gathered.
So in your own estimation, what has been the result of that raid?
The result, was a very successful one, and we are analyzing the facts that we have gathered, and we'll continue to do that, until, of course, the information is otherwise.
What do you mean by successful?
Successful in the sense that we got an intel that says that there is this, and then we went for it, and then we realized that, yes, it is true. And then, of course, based on our mandate of fighting crime, we realized that, yes, the funds and intel is leading towards that, and that is why it is successful.
How recoveries were made? So recoveries were made?
Of course, recoveries were made, and recoveries will continue to be made. I don't want to mention figures in terms of the amount, but it is huge.
Okay, what about having figure already out there in public space?
Yes.
About $6 million or so.
Well, the figures are the figures.
Okay. My question.
Yes.
Naira Redesign, how significant is it in the fight against corruption?
Oh, it is. It is very, 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 very significant. You know that there is an obligation of money laundering law that we have, in which an individual is expected to carry out a transaction that is above 5 million naira through the financial institution. There is also the threshold in which a corporate entity is expected to carry out transactions that is above 10 million in the financial sector. And why is it so? It is so because financial institutions are expected to be making currency transaction reports and suspicious transaction reports to relevant agencies. And with that, institutions like us will be able to monitor which funds are legitimate and which funds are not legitimate. And here we are now, in which 85% of our currency is out of circulation, and people are carrying out transactions above the threshold as provided for by this provision, over and above, that we will not be able to monitor. We don't know what they are doing. These are the transactions that are creating and giving avenue, to other forms of crime that we are seeing in this country. Payment of ransom, banditry and all of that, payment of briberies to political actors, and the rest. So we are happy with this Naira redesign in the sense that it will give central bank an opportunity of, going back to square one. By the time they collect all these monies back to their system, then they are going to control the monies that they are going to release to the system. And then, of course, once the monies are back within the financial institution, it will help to further boost, economic activities in the sense that there will be more money for people to borrow. You understand? And then we, on our own part, will have the avenue of monitoring what are we doing with all these huge resources that are out there before, that are now within the financial institution. So it is a good thing for all of us, for the entire country, and that is why we are calling for Nigerians to embrace the policy, to thank the president for coming up with this, and then, of course, to champion the cause of the successful implementation of this Naira redesign. On our part, of course, we will continue to call on Nigerians that the whistleblower policy is still on and running, and for information that, of course, Nigerians will come forth with. They stand the chance of, getting up to 5% of what we will successfully recover that are illegitimately earned.
On your fight against cybercrime, I believe you also act on intelligence. But my worry is the way your operatives carry out their assignments. They go into places where they're acting on intelligence, but the manner they go in, they break into doors, break into windows, and demolish so many things. But in the end, they might not find what they're looking for. And they leave the owners of those things with damages to take care of. Is there no better way that your operatives can assess, places they want to look for, possible criminals?
We are aware of this issue that you raise, but it's minimal, it's negligible. When somebody writes an exams and he scored 98, 99, and then you are hammering on the 1%. Yes, that 1% is important because you are talking about individuals. And for issues of this nature that you have mentioned, we have been addressing them time and time again. We should have positive outlook and positive approach to these issues. As at the 4th of November, 2022, the EFCC have recorded 3,228 convictions in court. Half of these convictions is relating to cybercrime. It has never happened in the history of this country. So this is a huge problem that we have, in which our younger brothers, and sisters are engaged in this crime, that they are shouting that, yes, it is not Nigerians' money. So we have to work together and ensure that, look, we rid our country of this crime that is, tarnishing the image of our country, bringing in illegitimate funds and distorting the economic, flow of our country. And that is what we should be looking at. You understand? I'm not saying that we 100%, okay, we are human beings. As human beings, we are expected to make mistakes here and there. But we are learning by the day. And of course, we are here when we came here and the president launched our standard operation procedure. That is what is guiding us, going forward in the EFCC. And we are very proud of the achievement that we have made thus far. You understand? We should have positive outlook to some of these issues and calm the country down instead of talking about issues that are neither here nor there. People cannot even confirm, the reliability of this. And then you, the journalists, will now amplify only the negative things that are coming out of this, all-important job of fighting corruption in this country.
How are you finding this job? How are you finding this job, and what are the threats?
What?
How are you finding this job? What are the threats?
Well, the job is an amazing job. I thought I'm going to, serve for 35 years and retire at 59. The president decided otherwise. I now reached the pinnacle of my career at a very younger age of 40 years. And God willing, I will continue to serve my country in the best possible way until I leave the job. So the job is good. We are working to, contribute our quota towards the development of our country, and I think that is the most important thing.
Are you facing any threats? Doing this job, are you facing any threats?
Yes, of course.
Is it true that Eagle Eye is monitoring 3 governors in Nigeria as regards the redesign of the Naira? Some governors allegedly are wanting to spend Naira in paying for salaries. Is it true that the EFCC is monitoring some governors?
You are mixing two things. The Eagle Eye is an app. It's a novel idea of the EFCC that we launch for the ease of reporting crime to us. Nigerians can easily download it, on their phones, either Android or Apple or wherever, and then of course they can send in complaints, to us through the Eagle Eye. You can even take pictures and send. And it is also, let me use this opportunity to remind Nigerians that Eagle Eye is very important, for those that are reporting the holders of these currencies that we know that are out there. So that is one. On the issue of what is that you mentioned? Yes, the governors that we are monitoring. We are monitoring. In fact, the numbers have even increased. We are monitoring everything. Nigerians are helping. Well, I don't want to give you the figures so that you will not go and speculate whether they are in the north or they are in the south. But it's important that Nigeria key into it.
Okay, so campaigns have started nationwide now. What is your message to politicians?
The message is very clear. Of course, they should sell themselves. They should talk about issues. We want to hear about how they are going to solve the problems, not what the problems are. I think it's very important, and I think they are doing that. And then, of course, we encourage that they shouldn't, use illegitimate funds in their campaign finances and all of that.
Are you tracking the amount of money they spend politicians?
Any other question?
Yes. The court ordered your arrest. Why are you not in JP?
Well, from the records, if you have followed the issue, very well, an allegation was made against a retired, whether he was serving then, a military officer, that he collected bribery of a vehicle and money. And he was charged to court by the EFCC. And at the end of the case, he was discharged and acquitted. Why? Because the giver of the bribery, we couldn't get him to come and testify. That is the information that I have gotten. And then, of course, he was asked to be given his, what do you call it, items, that are with him, which the EFCC have appealed, the matter. Of course, they file in the contempt long before I'm the chairman. And if it is an issue of a contempt, it's a quasi-criminal matter. There are some forms that you have to unveil the veil of the corporation and serve the individual that is being charged with with contempt. And from the records, that has not been done. And it has to be an individual, not the seat that I'm occupying. And these are issues that have been on before I become the chairman. And when I came on board, I reviewed it. I approved that let the vehicle and the monies be released to him, subject to the determination of it is in compliance with what we have been pushing, to allow the rule of law, to take its course. And in June of this year, the car was released. We have started the process of releasing the funds when we got the judgment, which of course we are all surprised about, but we are able to go back to the court, and the court have seen reason to us and has completely reversed that earlier decision. So that is where we are now, and I think it has clarified the issues.
The president in your efforts to sanitize this?
You say what?
How supportive is the president in the discharge of your mandate? What has he been telling you?
The president is 100% supportive. From day one, everybody knows that the president is the anti-corruption champion. And of course, he has been supportive, in whatever need that, we need. Of course, it is not all about political will, but political action. And he has exhibited, both in what we are doing. And of course, as the saying goes, this issue of Naira Redesign that he came up with is helping us tremendously to sanitize the entire system of this hoarding and money laundering that is taking place, with cash, all around the country. And we have to just pray for the president to give him, more wisdom and good health to continue to do all the good things that he has been doing in the last 7.5 years.
What has he been telling you? What has he been telling you?
He has been encouraging me, all along. And of course, whenever we meet, I tend to tap from his knowledge of this country, because he has been in the public space for close to 50 years. So he knows, the good, the bad, and the ugly of this country. And I'm very happy and opportune, to be having these kind of meetings with him, in which I'm being guided on so many things that I need to know as a young man, growing up in public life in this country.
What brought you to the villa today?
What kind of question is that? Can I answer you?
Yes, why are you here?
My work. I'm here to discharge my responsibility.
We just want to come there about something. You said 8 governors, right?
Well, I didn't know whether I mentioned numbers, but if you want to cook up your numbers, you are entitled. You are entitled to your own opinion about that. Yes, Adamu. Anything? Thank you very much.
Your reporters said that the dollar crashed from 200 naira to $1.
Yes.
So what do you actually? How's going to happen?
Well, you see, I'm a student of economics. My first degree is in economics. I'm not claiming to be an economist. I'm not an expert in that. But I do know that value of the currency, of course, can be gotten through some real economic activities. But from what we are seeing these days, the dollar is up at 90, and then it is down 690. What happened? Is it that we have all of a sudden within 10 days carried out some, certain, miraculous economic activities to warrant, the crashing of the USD, and then we just realize that it's just about speculation. Majority of these, transactions on USDs that is happening, on the streets and among individuals are not for any economic reality. They are just using it as a means to store value. And that is why it can go up, and that is why it can come down. And as a Nigerian, I wish, of course, let the dollar come down to what? To 200 naira, so that at least we will not be, relying on imported goods, but rather to build our own economy here, and then we move on, we take it on from there. And we believe with this issue of Naira redesign and with the good government policies that is being pushed, dollar is going to crash to 200 naira, God willing.
You say something one moment and then you retract a few moments after. You mentioned that 8 governors are being tracked. What are you afraid of?
I didn't say that. Don't put words into my mouth. I know what I'm doing. I'm still, I'm not yet 50, so I know what I said.